Welcome to the VŌC Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the VŌC Podcast. It's Ronald, and today I'll be chatting with professional actor, voice actor Evan Sabba. And you guys might know him best as the original, the one and only Brad Vickers from Resident Evil 3. Welcome, Evan. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ronald.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. Just having a good day. Did what most people do if they're, I got to work tonight. I got to go work this evening. So I had a good workout today. Just tended to some chores, basic stuff.
Yeah. So, what got you into acting? That's I think personally an interesting question.
Yeah, but that's a really long answer to some degree because I believe acting wasn't my sort of original thought as a young person. When people are like, oh my God, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a police officer, all these things, these thoughts. But I did have some early experiences being on stage. My first performance, I think my mom put me in a community center, and I was R2D2, and I was in a refrigerator box, shuffled around the stage. So no one knew who I was, and I think maybe that was kind of a mistake because I'm also a mask actor, which means you're not. It's not that specific. It's just that you're wearing a mask and you're doing performance style from hundreds of years ago. So I enjoy that, and I think that's the reason why. As I was in a box, and I kind of had a little bit of hiding room there. But that wasn't the reason why. Just high school, I wasn't the strongest student in certain areas, but I had a teacher who was very interested in me joining her drama class for an easy credit. So she said. So I joined drama class, and then before I knew it, because I was a meek, small, bullied child when I was a kid, and I think she recognized that and decided to make me the lead of the school play and just put me out in front of the whole school as the lead actor of the play. And it was a musical too, so singing on top of it all. If any other actor knows what I'm talking about, singing on stage is even more terrifying.
Yeah.
So that's how it started.
And is that also the reason you got into voiceover?
No, voiceover was just an extension of the acting. I had an agent, and an agency, but I had a specific agent in the agency because it was a fairly large agency. There's about 3 or 4 agents, and there was even a voice agent and a commercial agent. And then the voice agent and I got to chatting, and she decided to send me out for some stuff, and I had some early success, I guess, back then. And I started getting at least demos and some commercial work, but mainly I was starting to book animations, or just even animation demos, because a lot of them didn't actually make it to the light of day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just had my voice agent send me out for voice auditions, and I just went out and I did the same thing as I would try to get a regular audition on camera. Just went into the studio, auditioned, and that's how my voice career started, I guess, just with my agency.
Yeah. So were you taking a break from acting for a while? Is that correct?
Yeah. I think after I shot just a few things, but I wasn't really having a lot of success, I guess. And I had some stuff in my personal life that just was I need to maybe leave the country and stop acting for a bit. So I left the country, went on a few trips, and then also when I came back, I booked a bunch of stuff, and I was doing really well. I was booking Lucky Girl and After the Harvest, which are I guess my 2 sort of bigger accomplishments in the TV, film, movie of the week world. But after that, I just I think SARS, actually, we're dealing with the pandemic now. And I think SARS had come and descended upon Toronto, more specifically than the rest of the world. And I remember a lot of American productions weren't coming up here, and agents couldn't get any auditions for their clients, and clients started losing their houses. And so it was just a really big mess up here. And I had about 2 agents quit the business on me. So I just decided to just take a break, and I took about maybe a 5-year break from acting, period.
And now you're kind of returning back. Is that?
Well, no, I returned back a while ago, But
Ah,
it's tricky because I was entering it as an older actor. I'm older than I was. I had taken 5-year break, and I was just going up against a bunch of guys who've been just out there hitting balls being thrown at them and going to auditions every week while I was 5 years off, right, 6 years off. I can't remember now.
mhm.
But when I got back, my very, very, very first audition, I landed COVID Affairs as the husband to Piper Parabo's sister, and it was a pilot. So we're like all whispering, like, hey, if this gets picked up, you're gonna be on the show. So that was a really strange first audition back after 6 years. I got on COVID Affairs, got to be in like 5 episodes. Nothing major there, but it was a bit of fun, and that started the ball rolling. And I've been back, I guess, maybe for the last 7 years. That's what I feel. No,
That's
not like
amazing.
not just really back. It's been about 7 years back.
Yeah. And how did the audition of the character of Brad came along?
Same way, voice casting. I think because I had one or two successes before, um, in a particular vocal range that they were looking for, and they brought me in for an audition. Just the casting director, none of the Resident Evil people were there, and it was just an audition, basic audition, going into a booth and reading your lines, and
Mm,
just doing your best to do the lines way you think you should do them. And it was more about the vocal qualities, I think, and the energies, because there's always directors that will come and if they
mm.
feel that they can work with you. If you got a previous experience a little bit, then they feel a bit more confident hiring you.
Yeah.
So they had confidence hiring me, and that's why I was hired.
Did you know what you was auditioning for?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. If I remember that it came across as like, you're auditioning for Resident Evil 3. I
Mm,
I have a feeling I didn't, because sorry about that. I had a feeling I didn't because I just I usually get nervous, especially about things that I really like.
mhm.
So I may have just not been that nervous. And I just was auditioning, and I just was giving it a good go. And I guess I hit the ball out of the park for them in terms of like the vocal quality. Maybe that's what they were more interested in than anything.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, your first appearance or Brad's appearance was in Resident Evil 2. He was zombified, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think there's like reports, or at least there's like at least there's some credits that are saying that I did the voice of that zombie.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember it, and I didn't just do Brad. Like, the thing is, I did do a bunch of the soldiers during the opening. I
Mm,
think I do a bunch of screaming, or like shooting, or you want some of this.
mm.
I can't remember what I said, but I did a bunch of other, like, smaller characters, and then they also got me
Yeah.
to, I guess, like some damage sounds. So like
Mm.
taking damage, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So a whole slew of that. We had to do a lot of damage stuff. And then maybe somewhere in there, they were like, I just can't remember. They may have asked me to do, zombie stuff.
Yeah.
The thing I would like to find out is if my name is in the credits in the game
It
at all.
well,
If anybody
not
can
sure
show me
if
that.
not sure if in the game, but
Yeah,
I was scrolling through the IMDb page of
yeah,
yours, and you were
yeah.
credited, so I'm not
Hey,
sure.
you know what? I'm gonna take it. I don't care. But I mean, I feel really bad if the other voice actor's like is out there and he's like, "Oh, I did it. I did that. A zombie." I can't remember, because I also can't remember if like, I don't know if they were working on Resident Evil 2 at the same time as they were working on Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
I thought Resident Evil 2 came way before 3, like a whole year. So I don't remember. I don't even know how they would get the Easter egg in there without getting my recording first. It would make sense.
Well,
So
yeah. I
so
just thought,
maybe that's me. Maybe they somehow we're building the games at the same time, and they just took my voice sample and put it in there as like a form of brilliance. But I don't remember doing it.
yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you know about the Resident Evil series before you actually got into it?
No, I played 1 and 2.
I
So, I
see.
mean, the thing is I'm I don't know about, for you, Ronald, and your viewers know, but I'm a big nerd. I'm a big video game person. I played video games since they first came out. And I was in the arcades
Oh.
where, you get your quarters from the guy smoking a cigar. He's it's like, like the arcades were seedy and wild back then, and on Yonge Street, at least where I live in Toronto. And so the experience of it all, it's just that when they first launched, it was just the newest thing. We had pinball, maybe some shooting galleries and stuff like that, but nothing like a video, like an image that you can manipulate on a screen. That just wasn't around.
Yeah.
When it first came out, it just blew everyone's minds, and it blew this kid's mind. And so I was one of the first few to get on a computer in school when they first came to the schools. The old PET computers with a green monochrome screen, a giant brick. You had to load all the software with a tape deck, like a regular tape deck. Yeah, that's how you load your software. until the floppy disks came out. That's how you were loading data in the schools. Anyway, I'm sure that it was like the tape ribbons you see in the big computers in the back in the day too. Those how they tape was how you loaded software.
Yeah.
So that's how early I've been goofing around on the very first computers, Commodore 64, VIC-20, of course, before that. And then I got a television too behind me. My dad was kind of realizing that I was getting into them, so he got me a few consoles when I was younger.
I see. Do you still game if you get the time?
Of course. Well, I mean, it takes up too much of my time because I like playing games too much. And it's not just I'm not one of those people who will play one game and just play it forever. I because I grew up in the arcades, I'm really a person that just I need to play an arcade game. Then maybe I'll play some Tomb Raider and put some more time into a story-based game. But you'll probably find me more playing intense, fast-paced, just arcade, maybe roguelike games. Just things that you used to put your quarters in.
Yeah. What was your initial reaction when you found out that it's Resident Evil 3 that you auditioned for, or when you got the role?
Oh yeah, I was just completely stoked. It blew my mind. I was so excited because it was it was a big deal, and they treated it it's not like I got stuck in a closet to record this thing. I went to a major sound studio here in Toronto, and I got into a big booth with glass walls and everything, and where bands usually play. So it was a big sort of a feel to the whole thing even back then. And so I knew I was in a top tier game, and plus being a fan, right? Because when Resident Evil first came out, it kind of just sort of took us all by surprise. It was using the 3D engine of the PlayStation 1. It had crafting in it. It was just and puzzles, and it was just sort of really balanced between a lot of different genres.
Yeah,
and it was scary. It was scary, right?
Yeah.
It was just really scary. And so there wasn't any scary games out there that we knew of beforehand. So not really. And it changed everything, right? Then it created a whole new genre in the gaming department there.
Yeah, that's completely true. Have you played RE3 Remake?
No, I haven't played any of the remakes. I've been told to play Resident Evil 1 remake. Not so sure I've been told to play the Resident Evil 3 remake. People are being pretty hard on it because it's shorter and missing some things that people really liked about it. But I'll play them eventually.
Yeah.
It's just that I even the first Resident Evils, eventually they just get really hard and scary. Just I don't even know if I finished them. I can't remember now if I finished any of the Resident Evils. I don't even know if I finished Resident Evil 3. To me, I'm wait a second, what's all this Nemesis mutating into other things? So no idea about that. So if that happened in the original, I didn't know about that too. Or maybe I did. It was 22 years ago, and I'm older now, and so I can't quite remember. Maybe I played it. Maybe I finished it. I don't know.
Well, the reason I asked is because, of course, Brad appeared again in.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you have heard his voice or not.
Oh yeah, no, I watched the performance. Absolutely. Yeah, I watched what because I wasn't really watching, and the other actor to be critical or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, I thought our performances were campy and cheesy. So I wasn't going to be looking at the other actor being critical, jealous probably, but just because he's in a Resident Evil game and he's the new Brad, and And so I definitely was probably had some kind of like, oh man, I wish I was in that game, doing
Yeah.
my voice and doing the original. And I think a lot of people who loved my it's hard to say, but my voice, I guess, in Resident Evil 3, and sort of just so strongly associate Brad to my voice. When they heard his voice,
Yeah.
the other people would probably be more hard than I would be as an actor. For me, I'm just like, kudos, good for you. Wish it was me gaining that experience of running around in a suit with the balls on, because we didn't do that.
Yeah.
So that would be like a fun experience. I just was critical of the use of the character. I didn't like the way he died in the new remake.
Oh well, yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit a lot
It's
different.
contentious, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
something that I think a lot of people were probably talking about, and it's not because I feel that my death is superior, but I just feel that it is more dramatic. And I feel
Oh
that
yeah.
the initial reason why Brad Vickers died in such a horrific way and gross way too, uh, is that because it would instill in the player a sense of dread, a sense of absolute horror and total fear, because this
Yeah.
monster just
Exactly.
put a hole in the back of some guy's neck and killed him so viciously, and he was kind of an innocent like kind of character, and
Yeah.
so it was meant to scare the hell out of people, and it did its job. And I taking that away from the new Brad, and especially because it was such an iconic way of a character dying at the hands of such a crazy monster, and one of the only stars members you see on screen that he kills.
Yeah.
It was like robbery a little bit, and I didn't appreciate the way Carlos was made after Brad had been converted to
Mm,
hate on Brad so viciously. We're like, I've got this effer, right? When he says, "I got this
mm,
effer,"
yeah.
um, and I thought that was kind of like a little bit a miss. You could have had a little bit more compassion. See, I know they weren't never teammates, but a little more compassion that he was, still wearing a uniform, right? And
Exactly. Yeah.
so there was just some of that, and it was just, and also not even that, just for the character, for the people, for the audience watching, who have this affection for Brad, to then be called an effer and then shot to death by another teammate. So for me, it just lost a little bit of its magic appeal, which is
Yeah.
Nemesis absolutely just brutally killing Brad. Um, yeah, yeah. So I if that's anybody wants my opinion on that, that's my opinion. It's not that his performance was bad. I just feel that the Capcom missed the mark on the way he dies.
Yeah, and they also got
I'm
brand
also
new
happy.
actors.
Yeah, I'm also happy he didn't die that way. That means only the OG died
Yeah, you're the OG.
that way.
Yeah, so it's cool that they got new actors and everything, but I would have been interested in seeing you guys come back to the roles.
Well, I mean, think about this though. The guy who's playing Brad Vickers right now in the new movie, he's a big Canadian star doing their own, like they became a star. You're doing their own like show, I think, right, called Letter Kenny, and
Mm,
he's on that show, and it's a Canadian show. It's pretty funny. I've watched some of it, and so he's like a rising Canadian star option, right? Maybe I was a sort of like a noted rising voice star when I booked Brad in the game series, so I'm excited for him, but um, I don't even know what I was saying, but I think he's gonna live. I think the new Brad's gonna live. I'm gonna
I
segue into that.
it's a possibility, but I don't
Well,
think
what
so.
was I talking about? That's the problem with being age. That's what I was trying to say. So he's about 30. He's about 30 something, right? And that's kind of like that's kind of the age range you need a real Brad to be in this storyline. I'm 50. I may not look it. I look all right at 50 years old.
It's
But
your voice that's important. I mean,
sure it is. Yeah, no, and I understand that, and they can de-age me, right? Modern
yeah.
technology. They could have, but everyone's complaining about the budget already anyway. But like the creatures aren't high budgeted enough for them. So we're gonna de-age me? No. So anyway, I appreciate it, and I do love the fandom, and I think it's awesome that they love my performance and my voice that much. And I hope upon meeting me in person, people like me still, and or that much more. And I like interacting with the fans, so I'm going to just keep doing it as the
Yeah.
OG. You know what I mean? I'm working on trying to get a print commissioned for people, so I can maybe autograph for people coming up.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I believe you would return to the series if asked.
Are you kidding? Well, I mean, if Capcom themselves like said, "Hey, we hear the fans, and and even the newer, like, 'cause my job is like to get new fans, because I have all the old fans, right? I have anyone who loves Brad formerly. They're like, there's no other Brad for me. You're the Brad. I'm like, I get that one, but now I have to sort of like get people sort of wanting to hear my voice, who are now the newer crew. And I'm not trying to take the job away from the Brad that they've got, or the movie Brad and all that stuff. I'm just trying to see if I can get back into games, period. But if Capcom asked me to do like some kind of, prequel or something like that with Brad, damn, I'd be happy to do just the voice of that. But with mocap and all that, you don't have to have the real me there. Right? It could be
Yeah.
I could be in the game more than I could be in a live action movie. I could be in a game again.
Oh, hell yeah.
They can do any kind of magic with that. So yeah, if Capcom asked me to do a Brad Vickers prequel in mocap for a game, man, that'd be sick for sure.
Yeah, you only had a few lines in RE3. I
Yeah.
believe it was like one session, maybe.
Yeah, it was one session, but it was a like 4 hour session, so
Ah, okay.
it had some meat to it. Probably almost lost my voice, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And it's amazing because they wanted the performance to be the way they wanted it to be, and even just to get the right performance out, it took a lot, especially like the death scene and stuff like that. That's a lot of screaming, right?
Yeah.
So, and they wanted things specific, like when he comes out and he's like, Jill, like I didn't want
Yeah.
to say Jill. They really, really wanted me to say, like, on the text, it was J dot dot J dot 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 J dot dot, and they wanted
Uh,
me to say every J, like say the
Gee.
J's, J, Jill, right? And it was really funny that way. It was like, okay, so the performance wasn't as like more naturalistic as it probably,
Well, yeah,
whereas the remake was much more naturalistic than the
yeah, I don't want to say your guys' performances were bad or anything,
no.
but of course, the Resident Evil saga 1, 2, and 3, the
Yeah.
acting wasn't really on point, and I don't know if that's because of the directors or I don't know.
Well, it might, the directors were two Japanese gentlemen. And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
and there was the casting director, who's the Canadian casting director. She was the facilitating it. She had broken Japanese. And then there was the two Japanese straight from Japan, Japanese gentlemen, and they couldn't communicate. They couldn't speak English. Like, it just literally, they couldn't even. They had no broken English much. So it was tricky. Imagine getting your direction from some people, and I don't want to impersonate them. I'll get myself probably some trouble there. But it's difficult to get the the understanding and the meaning from someone from a different culture. Like,
yeah,
luckily, I understood that. I've watched a lot of samurai movies. I grew up loving Japanese culture. I've taken a couple of martial arts when I was younger that were all Japanese based. So I had that kind of like understanding of kind of what they were wanting, because I think they wanted something that was North American feeling, but at the same time had the sort of Japanese style intensity and performance
yeah.
style. Um,
Uh, but it
so
was
so that was
really unique in its own way, so
yeah,
that's appreciated.
yeah.
It is only recently that I started to see you on social media, right? So I'm not sure
Yeah.
if you only got on recently. Tell me the story about it.
Sure. I'm going to make sure to tell the story about it this time. I was just minding my own business. I had no idea that, I know I did the game, but back then there was no internet, and there's no means for fans to let you know at all that they appreciated you. So I'm just, working on my own project with my friend, a YouTube channel that we run called Sludge Pirates. But we're just working on that. We're editing there, sitting there together working on it. And then I get a text coming through on my Facebook, and and my and it's this this young woman. Her name is Crystal, and she writes me, and says that it wishes me a happy 25th anniversary, and that she herself became involved in the helicopters and did, was joined the I guess the, I don't know if forgive me if I don't know if it was the Army or if it was the Air Force, but I think it was
No
the Air
problem.
Force. And she was doing training missions in Germany, and she was telling me all this stuff, and I was like, this isn't real. This isn't real. Someone's not really writing me a letter saying that Brad touched them in a way, and they always thought about him, and they thought about his character and what he did coming back for his friends. I didn't believe any of it. And then my own business again the following week, and we get another message, this time on our Sludge Pirates forum, I guess, page on Facebook, uh, and it was the same young woman, and she was imploring me to get in touch with my fans on Twitter,
Oh,
and I think her Twitter handle is Vickers and Liquors. So anyone who's in the Resident Evil community on Twitter knows very well who she is. She's very much a Brad Vickers fan, and lured me back into the realm of something I had no idea existed. I had no idea that people were at the level of fandom for this franchise, the way I
yeah.
thought they were. I had no idea there were speed runs, which I just found out about. I just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm watching, speed run games. I've cut my scene out. I'm just going to say that, whatever. But I guess it can't speed the scene up, right? So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just but there's speed runs and the artwork. All these people. There's so many aspiring artists that the Resident Evil has inspired them to draw and to make art
Yeah.
about. And I found it instantly amazing. And so I was just like, what the hell? And so my first instance back, wrote on Twitter. I said, so who are all these Resident Evil fans I've got? And I was
Yeah.
shocked and surprised. And it's slowly been building. I think maybe a lot of people who played the game early on, or they're kind of my age or a little younger, uh, and some of them are not on Twitter. But I know that millions of people heard my voice. Like, I know that.
Yeah, and that's a good feeling, ain't it?
No, it's absolutely terrifying. Here's the thing. Not terrifying, but here's the thing. It is kind of interesting and glorious. There's a moment, Peter Parker is walking that, he's like in the experiment lab area, and he gets bitten by a spider and gets all these powers.
Mm.
And then his uncle says, great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
It kind of feels the same way, because I've been contacted many times now over by people sending me messages, DMs about how much they appreciated me from their childhood. And I like Vickers and Liquors, really appreciating my um I guess my work, and it touched them, and I feel responsible. I feel responsible all of a sudden. I've got fans. Rumpelstiltskin woke up, and all of a sudden I'm surrounded by people who say they love you.
Yeah.
The
And
strangest feeling in the world. It
yeah.
doesn't make sense to it. Doesn't, like, I'm an actor. I'm used to. I did a few gigs that got me to some weird moment where somebody jumped on me randomly at a bar when they saw me, because they saw my movie the week. They thought, oh my God, there's a young Canadian star, all that stuff. And I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, 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 okay, crazy, crazy. So that was one small instance, but this is like a consistent thing. This is like, I'm not going away with this. This is not. This is Brad Vickers is, you know, beloved by these people,
Yeah.
and by fans, and I feel responsible because it was my voice, and I
Yeah.
feel responsible in the way that I feel like the responsibility and the power that I've been given is something that I could use to make other people happy. And that's something,
Exactly.
if you're a person like me, that's just something like, it's not easy to make other people happy because, you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough time, you don't have this and that. So I just saw it instantly as like, oh my God, I have an opportunity here to connect with people who actually really, really love something I did as an artist 22 years ago. It's extremely humbling. It's extremely humbling.
Exactly. Yeah. For something you did 22 years ago, it really,
It's humbling. It's humbling. And to
it's
be
humbling.
hunted down by, people that are younger and played the game and heard my voice when they were in their childhood. Like, I was in my 20s, maybe, at the time. Um, but they were in their childhoods, and it's interesting. It's very interesting. It humbles me, and I'm happy to interact with the fans and see where I can take it if they want me around. I'll stick around.
Yeah. Have you considered making a Cameo account? You know what Cameo is?
Yeah, like a voice, like doing a voice thing, like greetings and stuff like that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
someone else mentioned it to me before as well, and I don't know. Like, I don't know how that would actually work very well. I guess I'd have to get a script going, like whatever they want me to say. But it's something I haven't thought about yet. Maybe if I booked another Brad Vickers gig with Capcom and it really solidifies me as the OG voice, maybe I'd feel more inclined to do stuff like that. Again, I just don't feel like who's gonna want one. Few people, but you know.
Oh, don't be like that, you know.
I'm digging, man. I'm fishing for it. You know what I'm saying? Fans. We
Exactly.
love you.
Yeah, people love you. They just need to find you, you know.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. I started on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm trying to start a Facebook fan page for me. I'm trying to find places where people can interact with me. And I'm not very good at social media, so it's taking me a bit of like time, and I've been trying to like make my own little stupid clip art to like, just to entertain fans and stuff, like, other than just typing and doing video stuff. So some of that takes up time, like some ideas take up time, putting them together, but yeah, I'm there for you guys doing that.
Yeah, you're doing
Again,
great.
that's something I was saying, and I can't remember where I was saying it again.
Yeah, you care for your fans and they care for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I didn't know they existed, but I now know I have fans, and I understand why, and I appreciate it. Humble nature.
Yeah, so how does it feel to have played the best character in the Resident Evil?
You know what? I can't say it's the best, because just recently on Twitter there was a poll going around, and it's like an elimination poll, and they're trying to eliminate all the characters up against each other. And I just went up against Claire Redfield. I stood no chance, none. So Brad Vickers is out of the pool now. And I say, well, I got stopped by Claire.
Well,
so there you go. You may be the favorite for some people, but obviously Claire appeals to a certain amount of people for certain reasons.
Let's just say that. So
like I said, I blamed hormones last time.
So do you know the other RE3 actors, voice actors?
No, not really at all. No, it's not something that I no, never met them, because then we didn't do those things. We didn't actually get together. No, they didn't invite us as a cast members to come and meet each other. We were individually recorded, so we didn't work with each other. Whereas mocap now, the other actors get to really act with each other, because it's mocap is more of a form of theater, mask acting, than it is film and television or audio voice work.
Well, personally, I think maybe if they would have put you all together in the booth, maybe you guys could have acted off each other, and the performance
it would have been fun.
Better.
Of course, it would have been fun. Yeah, absolutely. But we're still actors.
Yeah,
like a voice actor. I'm an actor. I'm just actor. Voice is just one avenue of the acting. So
that's just an extension, a DLC.
So it would be cool. It would be cool, man, if we were together. And I know that other actors have that experience where they've gotten to be in the room together and work together. So I know that that's possible. We didn't get that luxury.
Yeah. So what is the most recent Resident Evil game you played?
4.
4.
No, 5 would probably be the correct answer, but I played maybe about 10 minutes of it. I just kept dying, and it was totally different. It was not making sense, and I was just dying, and I just got frustrated, so I put it down. So I didn't play 5. So I'd say I finished 4, starting 5, and that was the last one I touched.
So you haven't played 6. Good.
No, is that one panned? universally panned.
Well, people say it's bad and that it's not really a Resident Evil game, but I mean, for what it is, it's good. It's just not really doesn't catch
More
the
of an
horror
action, more of an
styles.
yeah, is it more action based?
More action based, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But at
try
least,
sometimes different things. You know, what I mean, they were probably thinking, "It's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be
oh yeah.
combat." You
Oh
know,
yeah.
people want
Uh,
to see Leon or Chris do shoulder rolls, man. They want to see him mix herbs. Okay, shoulder rolls, not herbs.
yeah. Well, earlier you were talking about those ground sounds and pain sounds you did for
Yeah.
Brad. I think those were used for the mercenaries mode in RE3. You know the mercenaries mode? That's
No.
like a mode where you can kind of choose from and play as the other characters and kill well, let's say you
Is
have
it
to kill like 50 zombies and that's the mission. It's like, and you have a timer.
okay?
So
But is that in the original game?
I
Is it a
think
mode?
so it is. I think so it is.
Because I still have.
It's not story mode related. It's just, some
Well,
side
I
stuff.
have the. I don't have the original, but I have the. I guess the copy on my PS3. So I've got a
Mm,
PS3 copy of Resident Evil 3.
I see. I
I
think it
can
should be
check.
there. But I think you
Yeah,
have to
maybe.
finish the game first, I think.
Right. Well, I also asked, again, using some of my celebrity power here, I asked a modder that I saw had done a good job modding another Resident Evil game to try to get the OG Brad Vickers into the games, right? So I don't know which game that they're going to work on, but I think probably one of the popular ones. I just can't remember.
Ah, I see.
So
Well,
we may get to see our own Brad Vickers mod. You can thank me for it.
well, that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
Actually,
well,
that
hopefully
reminds
it
me.
happens. I'm not paying them, so it's just out of like out of the kindness of their heart.
Yeah.
But I'll pay them in other ways. I don't know. I can't say who it is just yet because I want to work in.
Ah, I
But
see.
once they do, I'll let everyone know.
So I had this question that I just came up with. If you were asked to, record for RE3 remake, just to replace the lines by a modder or something, would you be up for it?
That's a sensitive question because it's not something that I would do in terms of like I don't want to. I wouldn't want to replace the other performers' lines. It's just like a kind of disrespectful thing on my from my end because it's not my role. I didn't get hired for that part, and it's not that his performance was bad at all. But I would do it out of absolute fun. You know what I mean? If it was just for
Yeah.
fun, and it wasn't for sale and it wasn't to make money, I would do it for fun for fans who just really love my voice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But as a form of respect from one actor to another, I wouldn't do it unless the Capcom hired me to do it specifically.
I
And
see.
that's happened when people are unhappy with people's voices, they get hired and they get looped over by another actor. But in this case, that would be just for mod fun, and it would be not out of disrespect.
Yeah, exactly. So, that would be just really cool too. You getting back into the character of Brad. So amazing. That would be
Yeah, it'd be
nice.
interesting. Listen. I'm not going to lie. Of course, I did actually think about that. I recorded his scene, and I looked at it, and I thought about, I wonder what it would sound like if I redid the lines. But I didn't because I had that fear that it would seem like I was doing it because I was jealous or I was upset or you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like it had to have been sort of like the right reasons for me doing it. And that the right reasons would be for fan service, but
exactly.
definitely not for me be going, how come I'm not Brad? I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I don't think like people would take it like disrespectful because you're just doing it for the fan base, and the
Yeah,
fans also want to hear how would that sound in R3 remake.
absolutely. But again, until it's done, like I would need to be, it would have to be kind of professional like, and I'd have to, yeah, work on the piece because his performance was his performance and he made it his own and mine would be
Oh
a
yeah,
voice. I'm not there doing it in balls, little ballsy like him. So
Yeah. So if you were to do it, you would do it differently in a different way, in your own way.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I was to redo the whole thing, like if I was to do mocap and all that, it would be completely different, right? But in terms of the voice, the lines are the lines. And the unfortunate thing, I've had to do this before when I got hired on Jim Henson's the Brats of the Lost Nebula. The puppeteers had already done the animatronic puppeteers had done all the work, for and they shot it with the puppeteers' voices and rhythms. So you got the puppeteer doing, oh, I don't know what to do, and then when I'm auditioning in the room and I'm like, yeah, but I'm talking like this, I'm Ryle. And then it's like, how do I match my voice now to a guy who talks real slow? And then all of a sudden, you got to talk like Ryle and just sort of shape it to
Dear
him.
God, that sounds
So
like
I'd have,
SpongeBob.
it was, thanks. But it was really hard. It was really hard, to do the Brats of the Lost Nebula because
Oh yeah.
I had to watch the other actors' mouths. They gave us like, matchings, and that's always just when you start. But I still had to watch the screen and watch the puppeteer's mouth open in ways that he was going at,
Yeah.
and then having to shape my own voice in his rhythm. So it'd be the same thing. It'd be me having my Brad voice and then having to shape it into the rhythm of his delivery of the text because the mouth opening and closing, I'd have to kind of match it.
Yeah.
So it would still sound a little different. It wouldn't be OG Brad exactly because it won't be my rhythm. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
Yeah, it does make completely nice sense or whatever.
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
If I did the acting first and then they animated it, the mouth and all that stuff would match my rhythm. But because they've already animated it,
Yeah.
I have to match that animation in order for my voice, for the sound to make sense, right?
Yeah.
It just looks like bad lip sync.
Yeah.
So that would be the challenge. And I'm up for it, but it'd have to be someone who is a serious modder, wants to do that mod for the fans for fan service.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is a personal question or not, but have you been asked before to record some Brad stuff for, I don't know, for memes or for fan service again?
No, I have not been asked to do anything. Oh, you know what? No, sorry. Yeah, I have, but but again, yeah, I have. I guess that's what I didn't know. That's what you classified it as. But this is again, me finding out I had fans in Brazil. I had no idea.
Oh,
I've got
wow.
a huge amount of fans in Brazil, and I had two Brazilian fan sites contact me. Both young ladies who run these or are part of fan sites. Anyway, they work with them, and
Yeah.
they asked me to do some greetings and just for their fans in Brazil. And I was like, oh, geez, I would love to give greetings to fans in Brazil. That would be so wild. So I did two. Unfortunately, I think, yeah, they were a little low res, but that was probably a mistake I made. But I think there's two out there that I've done. And I just sort of like did a little bit of a Brad acting for those moments for sure.
Mm.
I don't know where you can find them. They're on Brazilian fan sites. I mean, I got my original.
So the Brad's voice is, I think, just a little bit more high pitched than yours. I can't really recall it.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could do it.
I knew you were going to ask me that, Ronald. But I don't know if I can do it. That's the thing. And like, what am I supposed to do? What are the lines I'm supposed to say? I can't remember my lines right now.
Oh, so you don't have like a memorable line. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, I have famous lines. You know which ones they are.
Mm-hmm.
I just that what's the one that everyone likes to always quote me on? He's after stars members. There's no escape.
Right? Yeah.
And I did a remix. Of the original scene. I already did a remix. I did it on my phone at the time. I didn't have this microphone, but I put that out into the world. That's out on Twitter. It's a remake, just a remix I did of the scene between Jill and I brought my voice from 22 years after into the role.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
You haven't seen that yet?
I haven't. I need to check it out.
Yeah. I mean, it was just done really fast. I did it extremely fast. I didn't think about it too much, but it still involved me doing, like, what I mean by fast is I did 10 recordings for each line. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just delivered all at once. I had to like sort of like make sure every individual line, like it was when I shot it back in the day, every line had sort of like its own energies behind it.
I see.
So it took a bit of concentration.
I see.
Because what were you looking? What are you looking for me to say?
Well, I mean, pretty much anything from the game, you could say. I mean, like perhaps say that famous line, "He's not after us," if you remember that.
Listen, he's coming for us. We're both gonna die.
Oh my
Something like that.
gosh, man!
That something like that?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
But then you only have 4 lines in the game.
Yeah. I don't have a lot. No.
And what else is
Real
there?
crime. It's a real crime.
It's yeah, but again, I think you were in some of the cutscenes, and those lines are
I,
not really counted.
I think I think the lines that I say are some of the most famous lines in the game. That's just my feeling.
Yeah, because there's not a
I mean,
lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is Wesker in the game? Does he get to say a lot of cool stuff? Probably.
Oh
But
yeah, not in 3 because he wasn't there.
on
But
3. Okay, yeah. So my line must have been one of the most memorable lines. Like he's after Stars members. There's no escape. In fact, that's what the Brazilian fan sites wanted me to really say the most.
well, since the game has only 3 lines, perhaps if you could, um, so the first line is, "I didn't know you were still alive, Jill."
Oh yeah, I didn't know you were still alive, Jill.
The second one is, "The police aren't trained for this kind of situation. What could they do?"
Police aren't trained for this kind of situation. What could they do?
And the last one, "You'll see. He's after Stars members. There's no escape."
You'll see. He's after Stars members. There's no escape. See, it takes me a while.
But
I can't just do it.
But you got it. You still got it. And
You'll see.
And how was the Crimson Head stream?
Great. You didn't watch it?
I wasn't there, unfortunately.
Well,
I
you
wanted
watched
to watch it later on, but I want to ask you about it first before I get
Great.
into it.
They're great people. It was a great experience. We did have a problem with the time zones. So the stream wasn't started properly. It started much earlier than it was intended because I messed up the time zone stuff. It was just miscommunication. And so it started late. I started early for everyone. So some people were around, some people weren't. But I think we had about 70 people in the stream, which was, that's a great number for me. That's a small theater. And then we had a lot of good questions, and I was a bit silly in that one. And as you can see, I'm dressed more refined and ready to go to work. So a little different today, but equally having a good chat in both streams.
So I'm not sure if this is personal or not, but what do you do for a living if you don't act?
Well, as a professional actor who it's really hard to say. I guess I can only call myself an artist who just takes odd jobs to survive. For instance, because of the pandemic and all that stuff, I was working at an extremely high-end fancy tapas bar as the host or the slash doorman. So I was the door, I was the front door. I'm not a gigantic, tall human being, but my presence was strong enough. And I was there for about 5 years. And when the pandemic struck, that job disappeared. No more needing a door person for the time being at that point. And so now, for some reason, I can't escape the door position. I'm now working very minimally because, the way the situation is here in Canada, we're still getting government supports to just help us transition into your jobs. And so now, for some reason, I'm working the front door and checking vaccine passports at Toronto's oldest movie theater, which is amazing. So it's a second-run movie theater built in 1912. And so I work the front door there right now. In between auditioning and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. So it kind of
I'm
feels
shooting
like
I'm shooting on the 25th. Sorry, I'm shooting on the 25th. I booked a gig.
Oh, really?
One day, yeah. Shooting one day on I think a TV show.
Hopefully,
big one.
Hopefully you do get the role.
Oh no, I did get the role. I'm shooting on the 25th. I have it booked.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
Yeah,
thought you were
it's
gonna
nothing.
audition. Okay.
It's not. No, 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 no. I'm shooting ahead. Like, so I am working. I'm working as an actor. I'm working as a doorman. That's what I meant by like, just sort of trying to get your monies from a lot of different places. And if I could get my, my art styles and gear, I can start working back in my leather because I make things in leather. And so, maybe you can make some cool stuff out of leather. Heck, maybe make some Resident Evil like things out of leather.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah.
And before we end this, is there anything Brad has to say about the VŌC podcast?
Hey, if you have the opportunity to be on the VŌC podcast, please do. Ronald's a good guy.
So you are. And of course, make sure to check out Evan's social media sites. He's on Twitter, Instagram. I'm pretty sure his Twitter handle is at Evan Sabba. And
Yeah, that's my name.
his Instagram is at OG Brad Vickers, I think. Are you also on
Correct.
Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, but I'm just starting that fan page. It's not a group, it's a fan page. I think you'll still be able to like leave messages on my posts and stuff like that. But I'm just starting it out. It has nobody on it. If you are interested in joining the Facebook fan page, then it'll probably instigate me doing more on it. So if you hear this, just hit the join, and I'm there on Facebook as well.
Yeah, we will include the links in the description. And thank you so much, Evan, for coming on. It's been a
Hey Ron, thank you so much. Thank you to the VŌC Podcast. I can ever say VŌC Podcast ever, it'd be amazing. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have you on in the future. Yeah.
Well, I'm around,
Yeah. So have a great day at work. And yeah, thank you again. It's been a pleasure.
All right.